If you clicked on this video expecting one of the "you will not believe what Team Australia did" chat GPT ass script YouTube video, get out of here. This is for all the real ones, and I'll wait. All right, what's up, boys? What is going on? Now, Australia was a surprise in 2023, and I don't know why people are saying it's the same thing in 2026. We know this is one of the top baseball countries in the world, but how is that possible when cricket dominates the biggest bat and ball sport, when footy, Australian footy, rugby dominates, even basketball? How is this even possible? Well, I'm going to tell you today because thankfully I'm not just your regular Joe Smo who thinks they know what they're talking about. I know a little bit because I spent the last 6 months of my life in Australia working in and around Australian baseball for the biggest team in the country, the Melbourne Aces. Anyways, what we're doing today, we have ADHD, so we like to double stimulate ourselves. So I did not get to watch this full game because I fell asleep. I just traveled back to America. This game was happening at 3 a.m. on the West Coast, Australia versus Japan. I do know what happened, all right? We're going to play it right now at the same time. I do know what happened, but I didn't get to see the full highlights, so we're going to react together while talking about Australian baseball and how they've came out of nowhere despite having only 34,000 registered players. How are they so good? Well, first of all, it's the first inning. We have yada, yada, yada. We don't care on the mound. Orioles, Mr. Rockies, Sagano. Yes, Orioles, Rockies, whatever. So in Australia, the kids are absolutely cracked out. They grow up playing footy. They grow up playing cricket. They basically play all the games. They don't like to specialize in one sport. By the way, that's Aaron Whitefield getting a base hit. We're going to pause it right here. Aaron Whitefield, member of the Melbourne Aces. I got the great opportunity to call him this season. And guys, he is such a vibes guy. He is the number one. He is like the goofiest, always got a smile on his face. He looks locked in here, but he is an A1, great for the community guy. Part of what makes Australian baseball so great, despite the size, is that the community is really family-like. They say that on these broadcasts, that it's a family. It's a very tight-knit community, and that's what helps them succeed with all the great grassroots programs that they have. But anyways, the Australian athletes grow up playing pretty much every sport. They're really good at it, and that's what makes the transition to baseball, if they have it, very easy. Oh my smoke show. Did they... Oh, that's a great play by the right fielder because that saved a run. I know Whitefield's fast. Whitefield is one of the fastest players. So when he played for the Twins and the Angels in the MLB, yes, he did have MLB service time. He was literally one of the fastest players in the league behind probably a Byron Buxton, who was on his team at the same time. That's Dave Nielsen, all-star MLB player. So Australian does have all-stars. They have 30 players who have played in the MLB at the highest level. Whitey is fast, bro. He stole home plate this year here. There's another Melbourne Ace. There's Jared Dale. I don't know Jared Dale as well. Bit of a quieter guy, bit of a more low-key guy, but anyways, they're out right there. So what's crazy is that Australia, a lot of people look at it and they're like, whoa, they're 10th in the world. Yes, they're 10th, 11 in the world. They're competing with Japan. Why isn't there a top-level domestic league? And it goes back to the dominance of another bat and ball sport, which is cricket. But it's kind of sad knowing that Australia can compete at this level, but they don't have the league. They don't have a league that's able to be monetized easily. Now, the ABL is a thing, the Australian Baseball League, but unfortunately, it was created in 2010. The MLB actually had a 3/4 stake in it, 75% stake in it. They backed out in 2014. And the ABL, I will say, has been on a downward trajectory ever since, and that's statistical. This is not picking sides. This is not anything. The team used to have, or the league used to have 8 teams. It went down to 6, as we're seeing. McDonald had a great start, bro. Now, this Australian pitching has been absolutely unbelievable in the first 2 games, but everyone was thinking it wasn't going to play against Japan. There's Okamoto, and there's Whitey again, bro. I'm telling you, bro, just don't hit it to Whitey territory. But what was I talking about again with Australian baseball? Oh, the ABL used to have 8 teams. It's down to 4. Basically, the league is losing money because they can't get enough eyeballs because not enough people care about baseball in the country of Australia. Now, on the national stage, people do care about it, like right here. These are big moments for Australia baseball to say, hey, our ABL, our small little league is very good. Like, you have some dog players. You have dog guys come over. You have imports from many teams. You have the Phillies sending their prospects. You have the Rays. Ronald Acuna Jr. played for the Melbourne Aces in 2016. You have many other guys. You have Liam Hendricks, who played in the ABL, all that. The ABL is in a crazy spot right now. They're down to 4 teams. The Melbourne Aces, my team, completely left. Oh my God, that could have been bad. Oh my goodness. Dude, how many times do you see Shohei Ohtani hit it to the warning track? And you have to say the answer is almost never, because he lifts it enough and gets enough backspin to hit it out. He doesn't really get warning track balls. Like, I don't see that a lot from Shohei Ohtani. But anyways, we're cruising along in the third inning. And of course, it's another pitcher's duel because Australia just has great pitching. There's Jared Dale. There's the boy. I have no idea what I was talking about. I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, the ABL's down to 4 teams. The Melbourne Aces, my team, left the ABL, and now they're playing independently. So yes, Australia baseball on the national level is unbelievable, but unfortunately they could not get all the strings tied in place and all the bows in a row and all the dominoes to fall to get a very good domestic league. They couldn't monetize the product with the local fans. So you know what the Aces did, my team? We just started playing teams internationally. In fact, in the month of February, we had 2 KBO teams come down, have their spring training, and the Melbourne Aces played the Hanwha Eagles, which had players like Roshi Wan, or I don't know how you say it the American way, Shi Wan Ro, who played for Team Korea. Holy, on the screws. There's Chris. Is that Chris Burke? Is that another ace? Well, anyways. But Australia is basically, then the Melbourne Aces are getting creative and saying, okay, if the product can't grow locally because so many people are in their old habits of watching cricket, which has been engraved in the country since the 1800s, the 1900s, we're going to go monetize the other eyes. Matter of fact, Baseball Australia did the same thing. Instead of training in Australia before this tournament, they went up to Fuchu City, Japan to train because there is just more. Obviously, in these big baseball countries, there's more of an appetite for it. So Australia is having to get smart and saying, if we want to grow our product, we're going to have to grow our product through Japan, through Korea, through Taiwan. And that's kind of the next step that we might see. Holy smokes, you have bases low. Oh, that was the play, bro. Robbie Perkins, the catcher. And people were saying he was safe. He was not safe. He tagged him on the mouth right there. That's Jared Dale. That's the boy. Holy smokies. Why don't we replay that again? So you guys saw that a couple against, I think it was against the Czechs. It was Robbie Perkins didn't handshake the batter. Now that's another Aussie thing, the Aussie competitiveness. You love people. Obviously you love people. But on the field, it's like a war. It's a war. And he just didn't want to shake his hand. Maybe he didn't want to shake the pine tar, but that was a moment that kind of went viral for Australia in this tournament. Here we go. Oh! How often do you see that throwback? And coaches teach you not to throw back in that situation. Now, I could possibly see a throwback to third if the guy's getting a little too antsy on third, but there was pretty much no point to that. You're going to score from second with 2 outs anyways on a little base hit. I mean, even with, regardless of the arms in the outfield, they're going to score anyway. So you just got caught sleeping. And shout out to Jared Dale for being awake. Shout out to Perkins for being awake and not throwing a bad throw. Because if you threw a bad throw to center field, oh my gosh, bad fundamentals. But now you don't have to face Shohei Ohtani. Elite defense from the Aussies. Okay, another reason why the Aussies are so good in these tournaments, despite the size, despite their game, is because these guys play with each other a lot. All right? In, let's just say, what is it called? Anyways. I'm blanking on the name right now. Premier 12, whether it's the Premier 12 or whether it's the youth, whether it's the under 18 championships, the under 15s, the Aussies have a lot of showings in those tournaments. So this roster has played with each other multiple times. I mean, Jared Dale was on the under 18s. Chris Burke was on the under 18s as well. A lot of these guys have played and gelled together because that is their Super Bowl. This is their World Series. Again, in the U.S., it's not taken as serious. So the domestic league is number one. But in the tournament, they're kind of like, yeah, whatever. For the Aussies, they have pride. This means so much. Jared Dale's a second generation. His dad was Mr. pretty much GOAT of Australian baseball, Phil Dale, one of the first Australian players to get a scholarship to the U.S. So for him, this means something. Jared Dale's a guy who plays for the Kia Tigers right now. Actually, is it the Kia Tigers? Yes, it's the Kia Tigers in the KBO, and he skipped his camp, even though he was a new player for that team to be here. So another reason why Australia, despite the size of the domestic league, is so good. Guys, sorry, I've got ADHD. I have all these things. I talk too much. We're just going to let the highlights run. He got him on the mouth. I saw on social media people saying he was safe. He was not safe. Anyways, let's just go. I've talked too much. So this is the 6th inning. I think this is worse. There's Whitey again, man. What a guy. Did he get another? Oh, yeah, that's an easy double. Easy double for Whitey, man. Yeah, so they must have been able to score him here because the final score was 4-5 or it was 3-4. It was something. They have to score him here. Another runner in scoring position. Do they have Sagano still in this game or am I bugging butt? No, they do not. They have 27 pitches. Yup. That's just classic put pressure on the defense. That's Aaron Whitefield, man. That's why you want him there at the top of your lineup. That's what he does, man. He's just so quick. Defenses absolutely hate him. They despised him all summer long that I was seeing, that I was calling. By the way, I'm the play-by-play broadcaster. I didn't tell you guys that. If you're a new subscriber, if you're an old subscriber, you already know. But yeah, this pitching has been absolutely intense. Cohen Wynn, it looks like. I think that's Cohen Wynn. This is another ABL guy. Got to walk. Did not play. Again, the Aces weren't affiliated with a lot of these ABL guys, but I still do. Oh, he looks safe to me. In real time, he looks safe, guys. And don't you think it's interesting how in the World Baseball Classic there's no ABS? Totally safe. Don't you think it's interesting how there's no ABS? I was watching the games yesterday. What game that I was watching that was so bad? I think it was Puerto Rico and Panama. If you guys saw that game with the walk-off, before the walk-off, it was the worst umpiring ever of all time. That's no man's land. That's no man's land. That's a tough route for the shortstop. If the shortstop's over there on that side of the bag, that's a tough route for the third baseman because he has to kind of cut it off. That's just tough for everyone. So Japan... okay, they got out of this inning. Thank the freaking heavens, because as a pitcher coming out of the bullpen, Cohen Wynn, you give up a couple ground balls and they're getting runners on base. These guys weren't even hitting it hard. Well, speaking of hitting it hard, I'm guessing that Shohei's going to hit it hard right here. No, they just walk him. He's getting the World Series, what was it, Game 4 treatment. Remember that game that went 18 innings? How many times did he get walked? I think he got walked 5 times. They just started intentionally walking him in the extra innings, which guy is literally Barry Bonds. We already know he's the best. By the way, did they get that? Did they get the cover? Oh, whose fault is that? I don't know. Bad throw, bad cover. Do your PFPs. It's okay, bro. Does his PFP? Oh, no. And it's so tough because it could have ended on that double play. Again, I'm not faulting anyone. That's just a tough play for the pitcher to have to cover that far and still be able to step on the bag and have awareness and make the throw, but it leads to that. And a good baseball team is going to take advantage of the other team's mistakes. They're not going to let that happen. It's like in basketball or football, you score off of turnovers. A really good baseball team could take advantage, and now they're just flashing everything with the speed. I mean, no chance. Good pitch to run on a nice 1-2, even if he caught that cleanly. Robbie Perkins behind the plate. We haven't been seeing a lot of this in Australia's games. They've been winning a lot by the home run. It's been a lot via the long ball, but it's good to see a nice small ball game. Oh, wow, just tough spot. Just a tough spot, man. There were so many ways. I feel like a lot had to go right for Japan to take this game. And I know it was a close game. But again, that's the thing. Don't pitch to Ohtani is what I'm saying. You'd rather load up the bases right there, but you walk a guy. But that's all they gave up. I'm guessing they must have got a double play or got out of this inning somehow. But what was the point of conversation about Australian baseball? Oh my freaking gosh. Alex Hall. Holy shit, what a tank job. In the last 2 years of this tournament in 2023, Australia was just coming up with big home runs, too, from Rickson Wingrove. That guy's a big home runner, too. That guy's a boss. Did he go the other way? No way that gets out, man. Dude, I'm telling you, Rickson Wingrove is him. With Rickson Wingrove, besides any of the Aces guys or any players that I worked with, I've been saying this for freaking years. I love watching him play. I just love his swing. And they came back all in the ninth. It was all for nothing. No, it wasn't all for nothing, guys. Australia's 2-1. All right, even if they lose to Korea in the final game, which would be Monday at 3 in the morning, most likely they're going to be 2-2, and they are going to have the run advantage because they gave up less runs. And you know what? Let's just play this. The moral of the story is that Australian baseball is in a very peculiar place with its league, but stuff like this, performances like this, can very much help, and the reason why they are good is because they just have different level athletes. I don't care about the size. These athletes are different. The community is different. They believe in each other. They play with each other a lot. They play with tons of pride. They have all these intangible qualities that a lot of countries want to have within their baseball, and seriously, if cricket didn't dominate, if footy didn't dominate, maybe baseball got the chokehold earlier, I could very well see Australia even at the same level of a Japan or Korea if that happened 50 years ago. But it's never too late, guys, because the NBL, basketball in Australia started late. It was small in the 90s. It has came a long way. Australia has a nice little footprint in basketball, and if Australia can do the same for baseball, all right, monetize the global eye, get some more money into it, continue investing in the grassroots, which they've already had, whether it's the Aces, whether it's the ABL, I think it has a lot of potential, and they're just showing what they already know. Again, Was this a game today? I don't know if this was a game today. But anyways,